Vissa, we enter the Never Say Never lands. She has been as high as 5th in the world and has been a European medalist. It's the first World Championships in Southeast Asia, so thank goodness that Asia herself is here. The European champion, one half of the D'Amato twins, is back from injury, and we're overjoyed. A vaulting high flyer, we welcome back Laia to her 2nd World Championships. A font of gymnastics quality, the Spaniard was a finalist at this year's European Championships. Germany has 2 gymnasts in this final. Let's see what Silja has in store as she makes her much-deserved World Championship debut. A Northern European all-around champion. She's the last to go in this group, but with Taija Kanskanen, we're guaranteed a strong finish. She has made unbelievable progress in recent years. Now the gymnasts will start on floor, the 4th highest qualifiers. Every year, Greta gets greater. The Hungarian Moya has had a superb season full of World Cup medals. One of the best on earth on the uneven bars with Zoya Sekai. The Sekai is the limit. Hungry for success and always a thrill to watch. A Commonwealth Games medalist and the champion of her country. She wins a lot. She's got a shot. She's from Australia. She's Brianna Scott. A Slovenian at her 6th World Championships, making her first final. Congratulations are well and truly due. Setting for herself a new high bar, it's Lucia Hribar. An Olympian next in Sonia Artemonova. Will the gymnast from Prague take all of the pieces? Will it be checkmate? A gymnast whose trophy cabinet is matched by the size of her heart. The courageous Natalia Escalera is back from injury and looking terrific. She's from Mexico and she's ready to go. Now the highest qualifiers will start on vault. She's the reigning Olympic champion on the uneven bars, but the Algerian superstar is showing no signs of stopping there. There's always lots more from Kalia Nemor. A comeback queen and a 2-time Asian all-around champion. A master strategist. She's founded her own company devoted to gymnastics outreach. It's Sugihara Aiko from Japan with a plan. Hoping to preserve her top spot from qualification is the 2021 all-around world champion. Angling for a 2nd title, it's Angelina Melnikova. And here comes European champion Karina, the vaulting machiner. Could Germany's Schönmeier end up top of the table? Born in North Carolina, nothing could be finer than this World Championship debut for the USA's Dulcie Kaler. She's a Pan-American gold medalist. And hoping to start with a bang, of course, it's Zhang Qingying, that is, the reigning Chinese champion. Now, watch her carefully. She may be the 9th best after qualification, but Lian Wong on song can do no wrong and will be strong. Entering the arena, it's Kishi Rina, the Japanese all-around champion and an Olympian from Paris. A youngster next and another potential contender. If Lyudmila Roshchina can go even cleaner, then she absolutely has the difficulty scores to mount a challenge. Another young gymnast, but one who's bold and brave. Will Martin take a medal? Will Abigail prevail? One of the finest in her country, the Welsh champion. Will the people of Wales look into the skies and proclaim that Ruby was heaven sent? And last, but a long, long way from least, it's the European all-around silver medalist, Spain's Alba Petisco. Can she stand alone? Alba Petisco, can she stand alone as champion of the world and be all by herself? And there they are, the contenders for glory. What a fascinating final this is poised to be. We look out over the Indonesia arena and we are moments away from the start of the action. My name is Ollie Hofben. It is a delight to have your company, whoever you're supporting and wherever you call home. It's my honour to be joined by Blythe Lawrence. Blythe is going to attempt to make some sense of this. Blythe, we often talk about a 2-horse race, a 3-horse race. Is this a dozen-horse race?
Absolutely right. The qualification round was informative in many ways, but the picture that it gives us is not necessarily clear. And Galina Melnikova, yes, she led the way in the qualification, but she did have a fall on balance beam and a floor routine that she wasn't particularly happy with afterwards. She has the potential to increase her score tonight, but then again, so do many of the people around her. And with that, we should talk about Kayleen Moore. She was third in the qualification, but she did have falls on both vault and balance beam. She comes in tonight with tremendous potential for improvement. If she is able to do what she is capable of, she will be in the title hunt. Japan's Tsukihara Aiko had a fantastic qualification. She was a model of consistency for second place, and she'll need to lean on that consistency tonight, especially if some of the performers who are starting on uneven bars find that extra gear. Somebody like her teammate Kishi Rina or Leanne Wong of the USA could make a move up the leaderboard with 4 hit routines. Lastly, don't forget the people in the middle. Zhang Qingying of China, Dulcie Kaler of the United States, and Karina Schoenmeier of Germany, who were 4th, 5th, and 6th in the qualification. So there's going to be a lot to keep an eye on.
I think you've just named about 40 different gymnasts. There's supposed to be only 24 in this final. But I mean, as ever, Blythe, you've managed to make sense of it. The data is very interesting. And one of the things that we'll be looking at particularly are those gymnasts who have, like Angelina Melnikova, one particular apparatus where they could really make substantial gains. There is the bronze medalist from the delayed Tokyo Olympics and the world champion from Kitakyushu. Took place shortly after those games. About half a mark ahead of the rest of the pack. But again, there are gymnasts who are lower down the order, counting maybe not just a fall, but a fall or 2, some quite substantial deductions. All I can say to all of you watching is we're about as in the dark as the rest of you as to exactly how this is going to unfold. What we'll endeavour to do, and this is why it's going to be so entertaining, is keep tabs on the data trends. We'll look at who's gaining and who is maybe dropping from qualification. Congratulations to every one of them on making it to this grand occasion. You make it to a world championship all-around final. You're in the elite of the elite, and you deserve your plaudits wherever you finish. We're privileged to be in their company. We're starting on floor, the 4th highest group of qualifiers. This is Greta Moya, the 19-year-old who's had a very good season in World Cup competition. she's one of the form gymnasts of the season. Grete Moya of Hungary. She's won 5 World Cup medals, the regular season event. She's only 19, but something of a young veteran.
There's real quality to her tumbling as well. She opens up with a double layout and closes with this double pike. She's quite close to the corner coming out of her round-off back handsprings for 3 of these passes, but she does a nice job of just containing herself and not taking much in landing deduction either. Nice open full in tuck there.
She must be full of confidence with the sort of season she's had. Now, here is a gymnast we are going to scrutinise very much in this competition. Lian Wong, lying in, I would say, a very deceptive 9th place after qualification. She starts on the uneven bars.
Clear hip with a blind turn into a Jaeger salto. She's got such a calm presence on all 4 apparatus. There's the Bahard wash transition, the pack salto with a full turn that she added a few years ago. And there's the regular pack. Very silky Van Leven, and right to the handstand.
Lovely double layout to conclude. Now, the reason we're going to keep a close eye on Lian Wong is that she had one deceptive number in qualification. It was on vault, 11.733, a very uncharacteristic moment. She's going to finish on vault, so we'll be none the wiser until the end of the competition. But, Blythe, there's no doubt she could be a clear contender.
Absolutely.
4th time at the World Championships, 2 gold medals with the team. No team competition this year. Here's another serious contender. The 3rd best in qualification. And this will tell us a lot. 12.433 in the preliminary stage from Kaylina Moore. Double twisting Yurchenko coming up. Ah, now.
My goodness. My goodness, my goodness.
Well, that is the first significant change we've seen from the preliminary round.
This is going to be a much higher score than she got on vault in the qualification. This is a great start for her because the double twisting Yurchenko is very challenging for her. This time, however, she gets the pop that she needs off the table to complete the rotations well.
That could be very, very good news for Kaylina Moore and her many, many fans. To Naomi Visser, hugely experienced athlete, 24-year-old from the Netherlands. She was the 14th best in qualification. She's been a European Championship medalist on 2 occasions.
Round off back handspring mount, very smoothly performed.
She's another gymnast, Blythe, who had an uncharacteristic moment in the qualification. Real issues on floor, a low score of 11.1. Another who could move right up the standings.
Side aerial, back handspring, and unfortunately she wasn't right coming out of the side aerial, and you actually saw her left arm really struggling to stay on the beam on the back handspring. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do when you're so far off going into an element like that. That's a lovely double turn, however.
Moments of excellence in that display from Naomi Visser. Unfortunately, a clear full mark to be removed from her score for that unintentional dismount from the beam.
It's really a shame about that acrobatic series.
Not a shame about that score for Kelly Nemore, 13.466. She has gained a full mark from qualification and was the third best in the preliminary round. Fascinating. That's our first big mover in a final that might have quite a few big movers. From Japan, this is Kishi Rina, the 8th best in qualification. She scored 11.8 on the uneven bars in the preliminary round. This will tell us a lot too.
Yes, it will. Strong work so far. In the training, she gave the impression of a gymnast who is coming into her own. She's one who, if she does what she's capable of, and so far she is, great Jaeger there. We could see her make a move up the standings. Her dismount from a toe full twisting double tuck.
That's a very compelling beginning from Kishi Rina. Well, this is a very intriguing start. Lian Wong, 13.8. That's virtually the same as qualification, just down by 1/10 of a mark. As I say, vault is going to be the very interesting one right at the end. Angelina Melnikova, the all-around champion of the world in 2021. Top performer in qualification with about half a mark of grace over the next strongest. That was Sugihara Aiko of Japan. Let's see what we get with her opening vault. She's indicating a double twisting Yurchenko. And it was performed with significant amplitude.
She indicated a double twisting Yurchenko, and a double twisting Yurchenko is exactly what we got. And like you say, Ollie, it's really well done. Wonderful block off the table. Her legs are slightly crossed in the air. That will be a small deduction. And just that little scooch back on the landing as well. But it was very clean, beautifully performed, really. Good start for her.
Greta Moya, 12.7. So that's a drop of about 1/3 of a mark from qualification. Well, not quite, 3/10. Naomi Visser, 12.233. Regrettably, she's down by about 3/4 of a mark. Rotation 1 of 4. What a story. Sugihara Aiko, what a gymnast. She's the reigning all-around champion of Asia. She won her second title 10 years after the first this year. Brilliant accomplishment. Second best in qualification.
This was great in the qualification. 1.5 twisting Yurchenko, and it's great in the final as well.
What a treat of a vault that was.
Isn't it wonderful to just see a gymnast come out and stick one?
And it was so important because difficulty-wise, she's giving away, with it being a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko, not a double, 4/10 compared to many of that top group. She's just reclaimed those 4/10 in the execution for a 13.9 score. Absolutely exquisite. She's a graduate of sports science from Mokogawa Women's University in Nishinomiya, near her home in Higashi Osaka in the beautiful Kansai region of Japan. .14.1 for Angelina Melnikova. Now that is a little drop from qualification of just over 1/10. I remind you that half a mark was her grace at the top of the leaderboard. So those little incremental drops may mean something. Now we expect a very fine vault here from Karina Schönmeier. What vault will we get? This will be interesting to scrutinize. The board is saying double twisting Yurchenko.
However, in the training, she did show us a Cheng. It's not something that she has competed at high level yet, though. And for tonight, the double twisting Yurchenko is what it's going to be.
And a high amplitude one by the gymnast who won the vault and also co-won the mixed team title at the European Championships.
It's very good off the table and in the air, but when she gets to the landing, she is off to the side and takes steps over the red lines. So she'll have a 0.3 point of penalty subtracted from her score.
Irina, 13.033 on the uneven bars. Now that is a gain of well over a mark. So she's in the picture. There are a lot in the picture. It's a very complicated picture, but a very enjoyable one to watch. A Commonwealth Games team silver medalist in Brianna Scott, the Australian national all-around champion. She's a great gymnast to watch, isn't she, Brianna Scott? So poised, so powerful, so in control. Born in very nearby Singapore, but grew up in Sydney.
It's a very elegant display, isn't it? The tumbling, as you say, Ollie, was very well controlled. And that, just a wonderful touch at the end. It gets the attention, doesn't it?
13.566, the score for Karina Schönmeier. She was the 6th best in qualification. She's dropped about half a mark there from the preliminary round. We are at the vaulting table and we're with Dulcie Kaler, great young gymnast from the USA, based in Texas, the 17-year-old.
This will be another double twisting Yurchenko. Normally it's very good.
Oh, it certainly is.
Oh, yes.
Lovely performance from Dulcie Kaler. She has developed enormously. 13.966. Triumphant that she's made it to the World Championships. Not just made it, but done it by winning the all-around at the selection camp. Anyone who wins any internal all-around competition in women's gymnastics in the USA has answered any questions that there might be about their place on the team.
And she has looked better in the trainings than she ever has. It's really her moment, this.
Never a surprise to see an American gymnast administer a crackerjack of a vault in the first round. We go to the uneven bars. Ludmila Roshchina, just 17, and she has a big scoring first routine if all goes well. 14.133 in the preliminary stage.
Pay special attention to these elements where the feet come near the bar but don't touch them. That gives her a huge difficulty advantage over much of the competition. They are known as in-bar elements, and she does a lot of them. She's also very good about taking things right to handstand, as you see on that transition. This has actually been fabulously controlled. There were 2 small moments where things might have gone wrong, and she has not let them.
If she didn't work so much in the Stolder position, I believe that her heels were glued together. Incredible toe point, incredible leg position in that display. 13.833 with a very high difficulty.
That was fabulous.
Now it is a little down by just 3/10 from qualification. Very important for her will be beam next, where she scored 11.766 in qualifying. On the subject of beam next, Silja Sturr from Germany. Great to see her making her senior World Championship debut, and this coming after winning a silver medal with the team at her home European Championships in Leipzig.
This was an incredible routine in qualification. She started well with the round-off layout step-out mount. And here we go, side aerial, back layout, step out. Beautiful series. She takes so much risk in not touching her hands to the beam in any of those flight elements. A newcomer at the World Championships is going to react to the big stage. But she has been just impeccably composed in this exercise.
That is an absolutely outrageous first performance to give in your first final at a World Championships.
Wasn't that great?
Absolutely extraordinary from 17-year-old Silja Sturr. Golly, that was composure. Brianna Scott, 12.433. She makes a small gain from qualification. Undergraduate studying for her Bachelor of Business. There's another studying for higher education qualifications and taking her gymnastics to a higher level. Alba Petisco has had the season of seasons. Phenomenal accomplishment, silver medal in the all-around competition at the European Championships. First ever from her country to do it.
She begins with a hop change, then goes forward into a Jaeger. Beautiful pike Kachev element. So far, it's been very sharp. Dismount, full twisting double tie.
She's made the observation, Alba Petisco, that people look at her differently now, treat her differently now because of what she's accomplished. Well, they should do. They should treat her like the aspirational figure in Spanish gymnastics that she is, because she has made a whole generation of young Spanish women believe that they can be all-around medalists at the European Championships and maybe beyond. Silja Sturr, 12.7. Good beginning for her on beam, a little down from qualification. Fabulous composure, though, from Silja Sturr. This is a gymnast who has come on leaps and bounds over the last few seasons. Kaija Tanskinen from Finland. born in Michigan. Her grandmother lives in Jyväskylä, and she goes to visit her a great deal. And she's visiting international finals a great deal as well now. Kaja Tansken looks very at home.
Back handspring, layout, step out, layout, step out. So well handled. The mount too, quite unique, doing the layout to 2 feet. And here is the turn in Cossack sit position. She opts just to do a single 360. Nicely connected switch to switch side leap. Some unusual things on balance beam. The switch side is not something we see all the time, nor is the mount.
Lovely dismount from a gymnast who has been the Northern European all-around champion, Kaja Tansken. Now, she scored 11.9 on beam in the preliminary stage. She was overall the 16th best in qualification.
And I would wager that this will go higher than that.
Celebrating a very fine beginning. Alba Petisco picks up a score of 13.466. That is a half-mark gain from qualification. She was the 10th best in the qualification process. This is a very interesting beginning. Let's catch up with Jiang Qingying of the People's Republic of China at the vaulting table. Now, we anticipate here a lower degree of difficulty than that which we have typically seen in this first rotation.
This should be a Sukahara with a full twist, and it is. It's well delivered, but as you observed, Ollie, the start score on this for difficulty is only 4.4.
That gives her a score of 13, but don't lose sight of Jiang Qingying, because beam will be her third apparatus, 14.366 in qualification. She was the 4th best overall in the preliminary round. Essentially, what I'm saying is just keep an eye on everyone in this final. Now, let's catch up on some of the other moments from this first rotation. This is Abby Martin of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, 17-year-old Olympian.
She starts out with a toe stalder full to Maloney and an uprise Kachev. Very well performed. Here's her Jaeger. It's a lovely open shoulder angle to her swing, especially coming out of the release moves. Powerful giants, too.
One of the things I find so amazing about Abby Martin is the composure that she has for such a young performer. She's been put into very high-pressure situations in her career, and she has shown herself to be worthy of those situations. 13.466, that is a gain of half a mark. She was the 12th best overall in qualification. Hope they've got a spare set of medals lying around. Kaja Tansken, 12.5 on beam, a gain of 6/10. Isn't it lovely when you see athletes come out after maybe an uneven qualification performance and deliver something of such quality? On the subject of things that are just wonderful to witness, we head to floor. It is wonderful to see this gymnast back in international competition. Natalia Escalera of Mexico. You may remember from the Olympics, she had to perform injured. She chose to get out onto the floor and do what she could despite being in severe pain. Such a tough individual. Welcome back. Just stop the all-around final and watch that for an hour. Isn't that fabulous?
Wasn't it great? The music is Bad Bunny, and she has chosen this piece of music because her husband is Puerto Rican, just like he is.
She's an elegant, graceful, vivacious gymnast, but under all of that, she's made of steel. To come back from what she's come back from.
The tumbling was excellent, but of course, what you're going to remember about that exercise is the presentation, the dance.
On the subject of people made of steel, on the subject of people who've come back from goodness knows how much physical pain and rehabilitation, Asia D'Amato, welcome back to her as well. 2 dreadful knee injuries.
Back handspring layout step out is the acro series that she has chosen to present. Smooth and steady with the front aerial to jumps. As her twin sister is the Olympic champion on balance beam, we were able to talk to her and ask her how it felt to perform on beam here. And she said, well, we really are very different, Alice and I. She says they have different characters and different styles on this apparatus.
Oh, good hold. She said, Asia D'Amato, little by little, I will find my way back to myself. It will take time. Injured during the 2022 European Championships, injured again in the 2024 edition. A lot of arduous work has had to be put in by her and her medical team. So we just take this as one part of the journey. Wonderful that she's back with us, and she concludes very securely. Asia D'Amato. 12.9, that's a gain of about half a mark from qualification. I keep saying that's a gain of about half a mark. It's one of those first rotations. Natalia Escalera, 12.966. She'll be in her element, by the way, in Indonesia. She's a massive coffee fan. Indonesia is one of the top coffee producers in the world. The Java programming language was actually named after Java coffee. The women's all-around final, and at the end of the first rotation, Angelina Melnikova, the top qualifier, is narrowly in the lead over Dulcie Kayla of the USA. But we've got some way still to go. One of the things that is clear is that there have been a lot of improvements from the qualification phase. That has made the picture more complicated. Onwards to rotation number 2. Well, what do we make of it all so far? Let's look at what's coming up now as the top qualifiers head to the uneven bars. Sugihara Aiko is going to start. Well, she's a very interesting one because on an individual routine by routine basis, you could run the risk of not noticing her. She is the essence of an all-around performer. There isn't necessarily a huge score, but what there is a very compelling overall picture that might be greater than the sum of its parts.
When you think about Sugihara Eiko, she is a gymnast without really a weak apparatus. And so you don't maybe see a huge score from her on any of the four, but when all is done and dusted, you find that she has been so consistent and so good that she could be near the top of the leaderboard, which is what happened in the qualification rounds. Perhaps balance beam and floor exercise are a little bit stronger for her. So to get vault and uneven bars out of the way early, even if it doesn't put her in the lead, is a good thing for where she's going to finish, maybe.
I love all of the possibilities, maybes and caveats, because you have to put them in, don't you, in a final like this?
There's so much hedging.
I can confidently predict that this final will be won by a gymnast. One of them out there. Definitely going to be one of them. That's about as much as we can say at the moment. What do you think, wherever you're watching from? Who's your money on? What does your heart say? What does your head say? Are they agreeing with each other? Let's move into the second rotation, shall we? On the beam, we have the second highest group of qualifiers. Kishi Rina will begin, and we need to keep a close eye on her because she improved so much on the uneven bars. She scored 12.666 on this apparatus in qualification.
This was where she started in the qualification, and she fell on her acrobatic series, which is coming up in about 10 seconds time. Once again, there is an issue at the top of the routine. She will have a few tenths deduction for the way that she kind of bailed out of that Cossack sit spin. Today, the side aerial back layout step out is better. Again, she gives away a few tenths, but it's much better than taking a full mark for the fall. Combined to the ring jump with the head that goes back. She loses sight of the beam. She's really settled in after the flight series, and frankly, the second half has been so much more confident than the first half.
We should never be surprised to see an accomplished performance from Kishi Rina. She was the gymnast, after all, who produced the crucial score on floor in World Championship qualification a couple of years ago that took Japan into real contention for a spot in the team competition at the Olympic Games with one subdivision left. She's the one that gave them breathing space. She can handle an occasion. This is somebody who is managing to think about the present and the future at the same time. A gymnast who has founded her own company to support gymnastics outreach project. She's coached young children. She wants to make a broader contribution to her sport. She also wants to get on the all-around podium at the World Championships. The much admired Sugihara Eiko. She paused her career in 2022, returned over a year later. Just a reminder to everyone out there that you can take a break, you can pause for breath, you can come back on your terms.
Ito Stalder with the full turn, well combined to the pack salto to low. Maloney to immediate Ginger, and oh goodness.
So nearly.
Yes.
Now, regrettably for Sugihara Eiko, that will be concession of a full mark. 13.4 in qualification. Needs now to salvage every last tenth in this routine.
There's not much left, just the dismount, really.
And she does well, performs it ably. Sugihara Aiko, the 26-year-old, competed at the Olympic Games in Rio.
Really a decade of international greatness. Such longevity. And still at the top of her game, despite the fall on this exercise.
Asia D'Amato on floor. She scored 12.3 in qualification. This is the gymnast who won the all-around European title 3 years ago. Sport's a very uncompromising thing. We reduce athletes to numbers, to positions on a leaderboard. Let's just chuck all of that away for a moment and say, thank goodness she's back. Thank goodness she's back. Sugihara Aiko, 12.2. That's a drop of 1.2 from qualification. Angelina Melnikova, the leader after rotation number 1. She now goes to the uneven bars. This was a real strength for her in qualification. It was her finest performance, 14.5.
This is a very difficult exercise. And once more, it comes down to the in-bar stalders that she does. In-bar stalder Maloney after a pirouette. And then the combinations as well. Moving very efficiently from high to low. In-bar blind to a pike Jaeger. And very near the handstand. Once again, stalder work into her dismount and bang on the landing.
That was the very definition of swingfulness on the uneven bars. Always had the laws of physics working with her.
Yes. And the bars can actually be tightened or loosened slightly. And the gymnasts have their preference. Sometimes you'll see the coaches between routines stepping in to make them a little tighter or a little looser. If they are a little looser, you can really kind of use the physics of it to throw yourself into the handstand if the timing of what you do is right. And with her, everything was right on.
So important that the gymnasts know how to navigate the hiatuses in the competition. Kishirina, 13.433. Well, I never. That is a gain of about 2/3 of a mark. In fact, it's more than that. More like 3/4 from qualifying. Abby Martin of Great Britain heads to beam. This is the big one for her, 11.366 in qualification. She started so well on the uneven bars, gaining half a mark from the preliminary round.
And if she hits this exercise, she has her two strongest apparatus still to come.
Yeah, she's going to finish on vault. So she could be in a position to jump right up at the end.
It's been lovely to see her back in international competition as well this autumn. She began the year actually rehabbing an injury. And there's no trace of it in this work. Back handspring, layout, layout. She's somebody who has shown in big competitions that she can really step up and handle an occasion.
That was a very good hold.
And there's great tenacity in that as well. She could have easily come off, but she fought for it, and she didn't. Way to minimize the deduction.
The gymnast from the southwest seaside town of Paignton, delivering a performance more rock solid than your average English beach. Angelina Melnikova, 14.7. She's gained 2/10 from qualification. Very much consolidating her lead. Karina Schoenmeier on the uneven bars started with 13.566 at the vaulting table.
Ikachev into pack salto combination. Toestalder to the Van Leeuwen. She really flies right up to handstand on her casts. It's a tremendous amount of upper body strength being displayed. And then full twisting, double tuck dismount. A good routine, not as hard as many that we'll see on the uneven bars, but a very nice basic set.
She's an athlete who has described gymnastics as her home, her safe place, and her passion. She won the all-around title at the National Championships in the summer. 12.8 for Asia D'Amato, a gain of, guess what, half a mark from qualification. This is the day of the half-mark gains. Lovely to see such a stepping up happening in this final. She's got to be one of the toughest out there. Abby Martin, 12.4. She has gained a mark from qualification. Champion of Wales, Great Britain's Ruby Evans, 12.8 was her score on the uneven bars. That was an improvement of 1.2 from qualification.
She starts well with the front somersault.
She's not a gymnast who's had the easiest time of things lately. Her long-term coach has recently retired. She said it's like she's lost her second mum. She, in her own words, has been crying so much. She's found it very emotional, more so than she normally does about things. That's very understandable. It's a very human reaction. She's brave to talk about it. She also started the year with ligament injuries in both ankles. And now, as an 18-year-old, she's emerged as very much a leader figure in this British team because of tenacity like that.
She can appear a little bit nervous on balance beam. But she also has a real knack for delivering difficult skills.
And she will go to floor after this, where it is always one of life's great pleasures to watch her perform.
Oh, yes. Dismount 2.5 twist.
Very nice twisting work from Ruby Evans of Cardiff. Made her debut at the Olympic Games in Paris. Tricky year, but she somehow manages to find a way to put it behind her when she performs. Karina Schoenmeier scores 13.2, so she makes a small gain of just over a tenth from the preliminary round. Dulcie Kahler, second best after the 1/4 mark of the competition. She now goes to the uneven bar, and she scored 12.1 in qualifying. This is a huge moment in her competition.
She had a fall on her Kachev element to begin her competition the other day. Let's see how she handles it today. It comes up right here. Uprise Kachev, well caught. Another transition, the Van Leven. Fully extended when she catches the bar. Oh!
Unfortunately for Dulcie Kahler, where things went so well on her first release move, more of an issue on the Jaeger somersault.
It looks like she might have been just half a second late in grabbing the bar, and the physics didn't work for her.
It was very marginal, wasn't it?
Incredibly so.
Good dismount. That moment to one side. She's a lovely gymnast to watch.
Oh, yes. There are so many wonderful qualities to her gymnastics. This was such a cleanly presented routine until the Jaeger. You're right, Ollie. She's very aesthetic, very poised in everything she does.
She'll be a great asset to the superstar squad of the University of Florida. 12.033. Ruby Evans drops about 4/10 from qualification. Well, not about 4/10, it is 4/10 from qualification that's gone. Alba Petisco made a really impressive beginning. Now she goes to beam. She scored 12.366 in the preliminary round. Definitely a gymnast capable of a lot more than that on this apparatus. We watch with interest. This is a youth Olympic Games champion.
Her mistake in the preliminary round came off the top of the routine, and it is an ambitious mount. Round off, layout, step out.
It's one that she's had occasional issues with. Not there.
No. Switch to switch leap with a half turn. She's really wonderfully light on her feet on balance beam. Oh.
That's another example of a moment that was close to completion. Alba Petisco qualified for the Olympic Games at the last World Championships, despite having had surgery for a bone cyst on her heel. Just take a moment to contemplate that, all of you, the pain that you must have to endure as a gymnast if you've got a bone cyst on your heel, and what impact that's having on every aspect of your training to get to the Olympic Games. Despite that, stunning. She's really come a long way. Not by accident either, by good old-fashioned hard graft and determination. Well concluded. Unfortunately, Alba Petisco will sacrifice a full mark. her third time at the World Championships. Dulcie Kayla, 12.233. Now, it is an improvement from qualification, but only by a couple of tenths. This is a gymnast who we expect to see start to move up the leaderboard as the competition develops. Only 11th place after the first rotation, but that's very much expected due to the comparative lack of complexity of her vault. Now, Zhang Xingying goes to the uneven bars, where she's got quite a complex routine, with beam coming up next, where, my word, she's got a complex routine.
This is called a Weiler, ending with a full turn. She combines it to a pack salto. Well-flighted Maloney transition, and then an uprise Kachev. All of that done in combination. Very powerful toe stalders right into her full twisting double tuck.
What a delight of a dismount from Zhang Xingying, the 18-year-old from the hilly eastern coastal province of Zhejiang. What a triumph for Lucia Hribar of Slovenia, a gymnast who is competing at her 6th World Championships, and she's made her first final. And if you've been watching the World Cup circuit for years, you'll have seen her out there as one of the most determined, diligent, disciplined gymnasts. This is no accident. She has got here by perseverance, and she's earned her place. 13.1 for that vault. Made her Olympic debut as well in Paris. Alba Petisco, 12.2. Regrettably for her, that is a little drop from qualification rather than the big gain of that 12.366 she was hoping for. Lian Wong, 13.8 for her opening performance. That was on the uneven bars. Now she goes to beam. She scored 13.166 in qualifying.
She's very capable on this apparatus. Starts out with a switch leap mount to a second in combination. She gives herself a lot to do. And this routine is just wrapped in elegance. Fantastic, aggressive switch ring. Here comes her Cossack turn. Very nicely handled. And it's moves like that, the middle split, that doesn't get her any difficulty. She just does it because it's classic and lovely. This should be back handspring, layout, step out. She's right on.
Now that gets her a fair bit of difficulty.
That does, and it meets a requirement on the balance beam. An acrobatic series showing flight of 2 or more elements.
She is rather balletic on this apparatus.
Yes, she is. She has a very successful business selling the hair bows and scrunchies that she is wearing. And here we have the CEO doing business on balance beam.
Well, that has really put Lian Wong very firmly in contention. We'll come back to her in a moment. 13.9 for Zhang, and that's a gain of, guess what, half a mark from qualification. Back to Lian Wong, though, most intriguing because she could gain a couple of marks on vault at the end. Now, on the subject of big scores, big numbers, Kalia Memor, big expectations. The reigning Olympic uneven bars champion. Her qualifying score was 15.533. That was roughly 1 million marks higher than the second best in qualification.
This uneven bars routine is just extraordinary. That is her own move. And here, Stalder in, Kachev with a half turn, right to an Ejeva, right to a transition up to the high bar. Stalder Shaposhnikova with half turn, and then the dismount once again in combination. Extraordinary.
She just keeps on doing it. Keeps on producing this extraordinary display on this apparatus.
Not only is it stunningly difficult because of the elements and the combinations, what is jaw-dropping is how she can hit this in any situation. This is going to get a gargantuan score.
The Algerian is one of those gymnasts who, even when she doesn't deliver exactly what she was intending on that apparatus, still has such a high number that it can give her real breathing space. Sonia Artemonova of Czechia now goes to the vaulting table. She is an Olympian. She's very recently turned 18. She's lived in Prague since she was 7. That was nicely done. A poised display from Sonia Artemonova. The federation in Czechia did a great job announcing their team a video package showing videos of the gymnasts as they were children, and Sonia Artemonova was bouncing around on the bed as she scores 12.9 for that performance. I think there were a lot of young gymnasts who did a lot of bouncing around on the bed. You're looking very guilty at the moment, Blythe. Were you possibly one of those?
Well, and then handstands against the wall.
There we go.
Left
I knew
some
it.
marks.
I knew it. Natalia Escalera intending to do a 1.5 twisting Yurchenko vault. She does so with a small adjustment coming out of it.
This is very powerful. Good push through her shoulders, off the table. Plenty of time to get the 1.5 twist around. And then she opens out her arms, anticipating the landing. Just a small hop forward.
13.5, her score. She has been a Pan-American champion on vault. Lian Wong, 13.5 on beam. That is a gain of close to half a mark. Just over 3/10 that she's picked up. Ludmila Roshchina, 4th after the first rotation. Now to beam, where she scored, I was about to say she scored 11.766, and will be hoping for a big improvement. Unfortunately, a tough start for the teenager.
Rather under-rotated on the front somersault to begin. Flight series front handspring to front tuck. That was handled well. She has a lot of difficulty on all apparatus. And she definitely seems a bit nervous on balance beam. If you look at her ankles, they are shaking a little bit. That's generally an indicator of some apprehension.
She's only human. It's very understandable if that's how she's feeling.
And she's also very young, and this is the biggest competition of her life. It's a lot to ask of a gymnast, really. And that goes not just for her, but for every one of these 24 women.
I mean, look at the size of this space, the Indonesia arena, it's huge.
Double tuck dismount.
Got real height, didn't she, going into the tuck position? can generate real power quite unexpectedly. 11.733. It's virtually the same as qualification, just a few hundreds shy. Kalia Nemor, 15.166. That's what I was saying, that even if it's not quite as she intended, and it is a few tenths down, it's still a huge number. The standings at the halfway stage, and it is close between Angelina Melnikova and Kalia Nemor, who's up 5 places. Zhang Qingying is also up quite significantly. She's in 4th place. Sandwiched between those two is Lian Wong of the United States of America. At the moment, and regrettably, Zoya Sekai has withdrawn from the competition. We hope that all is well with her. At the moment, there's quite a gap between the top 2 and the chasing pack. So Melnikova and Nemor will be on the beam together. Melnikova, well, not together, that would change the dynamic of the competition, but in the same rotation. Melnikova 12.733 in qualification, Nemor 13.233. They both had issues.
They did, and it will be interesting to see how Melnikova, in particular, handles this. She's had issues with her acrobatic series off and on for many years. And in the warm-up, she also missed the round-off layout once.
Sorry, Blythe, after you. Well, actually, we'll go after her instead, because it's Angelina Melnikova who's going to be competing on beam. 12.73 in qualification.
The mount is 2 switch leaps. And here comes the round-off layout. Big moment for Melnikova. Oh, what a fight!
Goodness. Well, the door is open now.
Yes, it is. And now for her, she really needs to do the rest of this routine well and minimize the damage. She's capable of that. Here's the Kochetkova full twisting back handspring that she added into her routine several years ago. And now the Cossack turn. She does a double. Her dismount is a difficult one as well. It should be a round-off double pike.
She has salvaged as much as possible. What will the number be? We just remind you that Kalia Nemor is not quite 2 tenths behind her coming into this, the second half of the competition. We're in for some nerve-jangling moments. Let's catch up with Brianna Scott, who is so entertaining on floor. She now heads to the uneven bars, having performed on vault in between. She's been a World Cup medalist as well in her career.
Here comes her pike Jaeger. And opts to kip off, doesn't connect it to the pack salto. There's a classic Shaposhnikova. An uprise clear hip circle out of it. It's well-performed work, this, but it lacks some of the intricate combinations that will get her a really big score. Very good full twisting double layout, however. That's an element that has actually gone up in value with the new code of points that came into force in January.
Like just about everything when it comes to Brianna Scott, you feel a sense of trust and calmness when you watch her. You are witnessing a very reliable athlete. one whose grasp of the fundamentals of gymnastics is undeniable. Asia D'Amato of Italy, double twisting Yurchenko impending, just outside of the top 10 at the moment.
She can generate real power with this vault.
Can't she just? And that's a big celebration from her, because with what she's been through with the knee injuries, that was a big moment in her competition and her season.
It's really good in the air, very powerful, and just that tiny adjustment on landing.
Gymnastics needs a successful D'Amato combination. It's lovely when they're both out there on the international stage. 13.966. She's up from qualification by several tenths. 13.5 plus in the preliminary round. Angelina Melnikova, 12.8. It's virtually the same as qualification. Karina Schoenmaier in 5th position coming into the 3rd of 4 rotations, and it's a very intricate picture underneath the top 2. We'll come back to that in a little while. Good hold, good save.
Very good save. An error like that will be deducted a little bit less than 0.5 of a point. And another good save on the back handspring layout step out. She might lose 2 or 3 tenths for that one. Right on the leaps connected to a back handspring.
Gymnastics is a sport where naturally we talk negatively, because it's just the nature of how the sport is scored. It's not an attempt to be unpleasant. It's just simply that execution, as we all know, goes from 10 and works down. Very often what we should do is think about execution marks saved, not execution marks lost. So when, as you say, Blythe, the gymnast demonstrates a great hold like that, for example, yes, they're losing a little, but they are gaining substantially from the potential loss.
And we should also note that each of the 8 elements that she performs in this exercise is worth something in difficulty value. So when you talk about taking away this and that in execution, they're also really gaining quite a lot in difficulty.
By making sure it's actually completed in full, yes.
Yes.
Karina Schoenmaier, 12.166 in qualification. Brianna Scott, 12.666. That's an improvement of 1/10 from qualification. On floor, Abby Martin of Great Britain, 13.3 in qualification. This is one of her strongest apparatus. things we often talk about with a gymnast like Abby Martin is her power. There's something we don't talk about enough, and you see it on floor. She's fast, really fast. She runs quickly.
There's such acceleration into her top leg, and that's what helps generate that explosive power that so many people remark on.
I don't think many would want to take her on in a 100-meter sprint.
No, certainly not. Very nice double layout, and that done as a second pass. We don't see that often because it is such a hard skill.
11.9 for Karina Schoenmeier. That is a drop of about 3/10 from the preliminary round. Seeking to push back up the table, Dulcie Kayla to beam, where she produced a score of 13 1/3 in the preliminary round. She was part of the team that won gold at the Pan American Championships in Panama City earlier this year. A great accomplishment.
Throughout all of the training and in the qualifications, she has looked so steady on balance beam. Becky handspring layout is her flight series. And that's exactly the way that she's done it all week long. She did have a few problems with the full turn. It's a requirement for a gymnast on balance beam to do some sort of 360-degree rotation. She makes it more complicated by holding her leg at horizontal throughout. Very nice series, front aerial split jump to the Corbett, back handspring swing down. Oh, it's been difficult for several of the gymnasts tonight. The turn in the Cossack sit position. And for people watching at home, this is one piece of gymnastics that you can try to do safely in your living room. The gymnasts make it look easy, but if you test it out, you find that it's not easy at all. And then bringing it up onto the balance beam is even harder. She tumbles into her dismount as well. Two back handsprings to a double pike.
Lots of power generated in that dismount by Dulcie Kayla. She really has given her very best in this competition. Hasn't quite worked out today, but that happens sometimes. 13.266, that's a very positive evaluation for Abby Martin. Now, let's have some fun. Let's watch Ruby Evans on floor. If you haven't seen her perform on floor, you're about to be very entertained. Those of you who've seen this a lot will know exactly why. This is full of character. In the wind. So elegant. but with some deadly serious tumbling going on.
Wow, that was incredible. She said that her only goal was about her first tumbling pass, which is a new one. But we'll come back to that in just a moment because it deserves some further analysis.
We now go to the Spaniard Laia Font over at the vaulting table. She's an extremely accomplished vaulter, made the European Championship final earlier this year. It's a little bit wild in the execution, but very well held to land that.
It's a double twisting Yurchenko that is really cranked around.
13.766 is the score. Quite a bit of leg separation, but yet she comes down to earth with real assurance. Dulcie Kayla scores 11.9. Zhang Qingying of the People's Republic of China on the beam. Now this could be huge for her. 14.366 in qualification, fourth coming into this.
This was glorious in the qualification. She does a lot of things in this exercise that you don't normally see from Chinese gymnasts. We're going to take particular attention to that flight series, round off, lay out to 2 feet, but also to the jumps and the way that she connects them. Beautiful switch ring to a back handspring, to a split jump. And then this switch side to a straddle. And then that is known, I believe, as a Yurchenko loop. Sometimes the Yurchenko loop includes a back hip circle after the back handspring, so she's modified it a bit. And that wonderful series of jumps gets her quite a bit of difficulty. And we've had really nary a wobble to all of this. The presentation has been beautiful. Dismount, double pike.
Wonderful, wonderful gymnastics from Zhang Qingying of the People's Republic of China. Some very interesting and unusual work in that performance. Natalia Escalera is now over on the uneven bars. Joint 6th place at the halfway stage. She's having an impressive competition. She scored just over 13 in qualifying.
She begins with the Van Leven. A toe shoot to high bar with half turn. Quality Jaeger as well. And a big Kachev to well-flighted pack salto. There's power in this swing. The legs do come apart on her in-bar Ginger. Oh, and she misses that kip handstand. Oh, what a shame. That's going to impact the score significantly. Otherwise, it was really good.
Blythe, for people who are newer to watching this sport, what exactly happened there?
Well, it looks like she lost her swing a bit coming out of the full turn and just had to reset. And on uneven bars, of course, you can't stop. And so sometimes a mistake like that really shows.
12.933 is a 10th down from qualification. Hope you're having as much fun as they are. Watching wherever you're watching from. We go to Kaija Tanskanen. Over on vault, the gymnast from Finland.
This will be a Sukahara style vault. A Sukahara with the full twist. Nicely maintained layout position throughout.
Focusing on sports management in her studies at Missouri University, Kaja Tanskanen, she scores 13.1. And I tell you what, her family knows a thing or two about gymnastics. Proper gym family, Kaja Tanskanen. She was 2 days old when she went into the gym for the first time. All I can say is that's a wasted 48 hours, isn't it? You know, could have been right in there straight from the hospital. Ruby Evans, 13.2. Blythe, what do you want to say about that?
She has brought back her first pass, the front layout through to front 2.5 twist from 2023. And she did a double layout as her third pass. Extraordinary.
Here's an extraordinary gymnast. This is Lena Bickel from Switzerland. Made her debut at the Olympic Games in Paris.
This is a very clean full twisting Yurchenko. Great power and punch off the table.
She's been on a World Cup podium on a couple of occasions, including winning a title on floor last year. 13.066 is her score. Lots of success in the national championships and lots of success the Swiss had in yesterday's men's all-around final, with Noah Seifert taking the bronze medal behind Zhang Boheng of the People's Republic of China and behind Hashimoto Daiki of Japan, who made it 3 in a row. I'm impressed, Blythe, that you managed to sum up that performance by Ruby Evans in a sentence, because I know you want to talk for about an hour and a half about it. I think most people do.
There's so much to say about that wonderful routine. And she's been very open about talking about finding her style on floor exercise. And it's just such a wonderful exercise.
Zhang Qingying, 14.833. Oh my goodness. We said she had the potential to move up on beam. She has gained half a mark from qualification in the half-mark gain final of 2025. She now leads the all-around competition. Lian Wong now goes to floor. She scored 13.066 in the preliminary round. This is going to keep us guessing. Fascinating final we are watching. This is Lian Wong, who was the 9th best in qualification, but she was always, Blythe, going to have the potential to confound that.
Oh my gosh, what a routine from Lian Wong. She started with the double twisting, double tuck, one of the very few in this all-around final to do that. It's a routine with everything. It's got tumbling, it's got lovely dance, it's delivered in such a poised way.
Now let's steady on with these nerves. Kaelian Namor now.
the mount will be indicative of what she plans to do for the rest of the routine. She's actually capable of doing round off, layout, step out, layout, step out. But if she does that, she has to modify the flight series. And she's going for the flight series with 2 layout step outs. She does actually have another one that she trains. So she's got different variations of this exercise. And so far, this is impeccable work.
Let's just remind you that Zhang is leading. Melnikova is second, but Nemor certainly has the capacity to be up there, even above them.
She did have a fall in the qualification on beam, but this so far has been rock steady. Let's see how she does with the Cossack turn, and once again, it gets the better of her. Oh my goodness. It was going so well.
Such a dramatic competition. Surprise after surprise.
There's just the dismount left. And again, fabulous tumbling, 2 back handsprings to a double pike.
She does complete the routine extremely successfully. Lian Wong is into the bronze medal position with a score of 13.2. Now, Kishirina on the floor, 6th best at the moment. She scored 13.566 in qualification. Kishirina from Japan, the 18-year-old from Saitama Prefecture, which neighbors Tokyo. Where will she be going into the last rotation? Now, Kaylia Nemor is in the silver medal position with 13.066. That gives you a sense of just how good that performance was with the unintentional dismount from the beam. No African gymnast has ever won a medal in the all-around competition at the World Championships. We're now with Sugihara Aiko.
That's a really interesting 3-element combination as she mounts the beam, including the ring leap, where she loses sight of the apparatus. There are personal touches in her choreography on both balance beam and floor exercise. You actually saw her kind of bang the beam with her fist at the top of the routine. That's representative of some of her struggles in gymnastics over the past few years, she said. That's a lovely turn with the leg all the way up, and good save on the side aerial.
Sugihara Aiko, whose very presence here is a reminder of the new generation in which we live, where longevity is normal for elite level gymnasts, where people like her are no longer outliers, are no longer anomalies. She is both past, present and future. Kishi Rina scores 12.8, so that is a drop for her of about 3/4 from qualification. Her teammate Sugihara Aiko, 13.366, is almost the same as qualification. With one rotation to go, Zhang Qingying is leading over Kalia Namor, with Angelina Melnikova down 2 places into third. Azia D'Amato is up 8 places. Lian Wang is leading the peloton. Chinese gymnasts have done an awful lot at the World Championships over the years, but one thing they've never done is win the women's all-around title.
They came very close in 2006.
Will they do it here? Will Zhang Qingying manage to make it a history-making occasion for the People's Republic of China? So this is what we know. Angelina Melnikova will be last. She will be the final gymnast to perform, as is the privilege afforded to the top qualifier in an all-around competition. Over on the vaulting table, watch Lian Wang carefully, because although she scored 11.733 in qualification, she could feasibly be as much as 2 marks or maybe even a little more higher. That's interesting from a perspective of someone like Kalia Namor and Angelina Melnikova, because at the moment Melnikova is defending a 1.1 advantage over Lian Wang. It is feasible, because Melnikova's on floor and Wang is on vault, that Wang could make up a huge chunk of that. Whether she can make up just over a full mark is another more complicated question. She may need some assistance from the likes of Namor and Melnikova. It's going to be a very interesting finish.
We are in for a fascinating final rotation. Yes, it feels too close to call. The fall on the balance beam has definitely not taken Kalia Namor out of it. And in fact, often we see routines where the gymnast gives away about a point in deductions for this and that, even if she doesn't fall. Namor on beam really sort of took her point deduction in a single lump, but it hasn't compromised her potential to finish on the podium.
Karina Schoenmeier will start off the last rotation. She scored 12.866 in qualification. She's currently just outside the top 10. She's had an amazing season, Karina Schönmeier. 2 gold medals, vault and mixed team at the European Championships, along with the team silver with the rest of the women's squad. There are not many gymnasts who get to compete in an all-around final at a World Championships. The number who get to finish on floor, thereby being in the top 6 qualifiers, is even smaller. This is a huge moment in her career. Abby Martin could well move up from 9th position with a strong vault, and she is a strong vaulter. We anticipate some complexity here.
She warmed up a double twisting Yurchenko. She's had quite a lot of success on vault recently.
She won her first international gold medal at the Paris World Challenge Cup in the lovely Bercy Arena.
And this is the stronger of her 2 vaults.
It's extremely powerful work from Abby Martin, who brings to a close a really successful all-around final. This is her senior World Championship debut. Laia Font will conclude her campaign on the uneven bar. She's in 21st position at the moment. She's been a Mediterranean Championship medalist on this apparatus at junior level.
Toe Stalder full to a Stalder Shaposhnikova. And there's her Maloney. Done to what I would call a bail, to a toe shoot to the high bar. And a pike Jaeger. Elbow slightly bent as she grasps the bar. That'll be a small deduction. And winding up for a double pike dismount.
One of the lovely things about Laia Font is that she's chosen to keep her training centred around the Arriba School of Gymnastics in Manresa. She's had the opportunity to go to the National Training Centre. She doesn't want to be there. She wants to be with the home club that knows her. Karina Schönmeier certainly can empathise with that. She's made that sort of decision herself. 11.9 is her score. Dulcie Kayla will conclude her campaign on floor. She scored 13.266 in qualification. Very nice routine, this. What a nice way to finish. Great performance from Dulcie Kayla. And let's just remind ourselves that she is wearing the most famous leotard in all of women's gymnastics. The USA leotard carries with it great pressure and great pride, and she's represented her country with honour today. It was a really strong display to conclude from a gymnast who is still not quite 18. Ruby Evans, 18th place, coming into her last performance.
And we'll be seeing a double twisting Yurchenko from her as well. Really beautiful work. It's powerful and finessed. Take a look at the position that she gets in the air. Her arms go back quickly, and the twist is really efficient.
That's now pushed her up into the silver medal position for the time being. Really good vault that from Ruby Evans. That will likely see her vastly improve upon the 18th place that she was defending. And currently in the gold medal position is Abby Martin of Great Britain, 13.866. Not often you get to say that you were leading in the final rotation of a World Championship all-around final. That's now the gymnast who everyone has to try to beat.
Great Britain 1 and 2 right now. How does that make you feel, Ollie?
Switch off the monitor and leave right now. I think they should feel very proud of what they've done, and I think she should feel extremely proud of what she has done over the course of this season. Alba Petisco. Oh, doesn't she hold that well? Yurchenko 1.5.
What a nice way for her to finish as well. It's so rare these days that we see a stick on vault.
13.5, big improvements, over 3/10 better than qualification. She is in 4th position. Dulcie Kayla, currently in the bronze medal position, 13.433 on floor. Here is a very big performance in the overall picture. The leader, 4th best in qualification, Jang Qingying. She scored 12.833 in qualification. Can she get that up a little? She may need to. Given that everything. Jang Qingying of the People's Republic of China, looking to become the first gymnast since Tang Xijing from her country in 2019 to get on the all-around podium.
It's an extraordinary effort by Jang Qingying on floor exercise. You see her working very hard to minimize all the deductions when she lands her tumbling passes. However, she might not have the difficulty to contend, but we will see.
Meanwhile, Laia Font is in 8th position at the moment. This is going to be very interesting. 5.6 difficulty vault being attempted by Lian Wong.
This is going to be a Cheng. She warmed it up. It could be great.
Goodness me! Goodness me! Well, the reaction of the American coaching staff indicative of how much that could change the whole picture.
What gamesmanship from Wong.
14.466. She's into the gold medal position. That is a transformation from the 11.733 she scored in qualification.
In qualification, she did a double twisting Yurchenko, and it didn't go that well. She's changed her vault, and what a payoff.
Kishirina now takes to the vaulting table where all of the drama is at the moment. Can you imagine if someone who is the 9th best in qualification gets onto the podium or even wins the whole thing?
We'll be seeing a double twisting Yurchenko from her. If she does do what she trained, this is not an easy vault for her. She sometimes struggles to get the height she needs from the table. But that was great.
She certainly got it there, didn't she? Kishirina.
At the World Championships, victories come in all kinds of formats. And for her to do this vault at the end of her competition and to stick it like that, that's definitely a win, no matter where she finishes in the standings.
She's into the silver medal position, Zhang Qingying, with a 12.9 score. By a third of a mark, Lian Wong is in the lead. Now, Kaylin Nimor, in qualification, produced a score of 12.666. She needs 13.3 or thereabouts to go into the lead. Whatever the outcome today for this great gymnast from Algeria, there is no doubt, Blythe, that this is the competition that establishes very firmly that she is a completely realistic, all-around World Championship medalist, and even more than that, even a winner.
No question about it.
Sometimes you have to get nearly there before you can get there.
She's somebody whose gymnastics looks like it is continually in the process of getting to where she wants it to be.
She is still only 18. She's right at the start of the senior career, as is this gymnast. Lyudmila Roshchina will perform a double twisting Yurchenko. She gets plenty of amplitude, doesn't she, in her work?
It is a bit piked down right at the end, some loss of the laid out shape. But she has no trouble getting it all completely done.
13.8 is her score, which is a small improvement of about a quarter of a mark from qualification. Did well to avoid the left hand going down. we are nearing the conclusion. Kishirina goes into the bronze medal position with a score of 13.966 on vault. That means that it is Wong, Zhang and Kishi 1, 2 and 3. I remind you, Lian Wong, who was the 9th best in qualification. We said right at the start, watch for that final performance on vault. She had the potential to gain at least 2 marks. Well, she gained a lot more than 2 marks. 11.733 to 14.466. We're at the stage now where there realistically is only going to be one gymnast who can go beyond. But which is it going to be? One score to come in. Kaylin Moore is in the bronze medal position. That's her last score. She's perhaps going to just miss out on this occasion. But certainly the promise is there. The hope for a place on that podium must not go away. Sugihara Aiko rebounding to be in 6th position. Last performance from her. Struggles, and yet she is so effortless to watch. How can you not enjoy, nay, love the gymnastics of Sugihara Aiko?
This routine is her autobiography, she says. It's about a young gymnast who has a lot of success early in her career and then goes on a journey with struggles and an eventual triumph. A return to form from Sugihara Aiko.
Now, what about Asia D'Amato? Could she make a contest out of this from over on the uneven bars?
That will help. Beautiful element combined to back salto right at the top of her routine. She does opt not to connect that toe stalder full. She might have felt a little bit off, and that was probably the right idea. Strong uprise catch-up as well.
I don't think there's any doubt that she's going to finish up there towards the top of the leaderboard, close to the podium. And that, for her, considering what she's been through, Blythe, it's a magnificent resurgence. Look at that 4th position for Asia D'Amato, who was the 13th best in qualification. She gains about 7/10 from qualification with that last display. Overall, she's 2 clear marks higher than the preliminary round. Sixth place for Sugihara Aiko, 13.666. She finishes with a 3/10 gain on floor. Wong leads, Zhang second, Nemor third. Now to Angelina Melnikova. She scored in qualification 13.1. She needs a little more than 13 1/3 to win it. It's going to be close. The waiting begins. Who will it be? Angelina Melnikova or Lian Wong? I remind you, a little more than 13 1/3 required.
We are in for a suspenseful few moments. One question about this routine, which was very good, is what the penalty is going to be for her first pass. It looked like she might have put both of her feet out of bounds. That might cost her as much as 3/10 of a point. Maybe it was just one. It was very, very close.
Wong, Zhang, Nemor, 1, 2, and 3. 54.966, 54.633, 54.564.
This is her second pass. Double layout, the hop back, but she keeps it in.
We told you this would be unclear until the final moments. We meant it. Whatever she's done, to be in contention for gold from 9th in qualification, that is an incredible display from Lian Wong. Absolutely incredible. The other gymnasts are all as tense as we are, waiting for this final score to come in. Incredibly entertaining all-around final in Jakarta. There's the gymnast who's guaranteed at least a silver medal, Zhang Qingying. All eyes go up on the big screen. The score will appear. She has it! 13.466. It is the gold medal to Angelina Melnikova, and she has won it by 1/10 of a mark over Lian Wong of the United States of America, with Zhang Qingying taking the bronze medal. 0.1 the gap. And for Lian Wong, that is an absolutely sensational turnaround from 9th in the the qualification round. For Melnikova, it is her second all-around World Championship title. For Zhang Qingying, it is the first appearance of a Chinese gymnast on the podium since 2019. We knew it would keep us guessing right until the very end. It has done just that. There is the champion, Angelina Melnikova. For the second time, she is the world all-around champion 4 years after taking the title in Kitakyushu, Japan. Just to tell you that Melnikova got a 1/10 penalty for that performance on floor. That's all it was. While the competition draws to a close, we'll have the medal ceremony coming up very soon. Classified results in the women's all-around competition at the Jakarta 2025 World Championships. Zhang Qingying of the People's Republic of China takes the bronze medal. Lian Wong of the USA wins silver, and Angelina Melnikova wins the gold. Hayley Moore so close, so close. She misses out by not quite a tenth of a mark on the podium. But there's no doubt that she has the credentials to be a real contender for all-around honours in years to come. Well done to Asia D'Amato completing the top 5 as well. That's a great comeback result for her, especially as she was the 13th best in qualification. Congratulations to all of them on the part they played, on their own story, on their own journey in this women's all-around final at the World Championships. We'll bring you the medal ceremony in a little while. Don't go too far away. The scenes of celebration are going to come in the Indonesia arena.
It's the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we use and we can show you the GSS to the spectators here in the venue. We will continue to make extensive and effective use of the judging support systems, trying to complete the joy, wonder, and the depth of gymnastics towards spectators, just like this time. Please keep an eye on this fantastic Fujitsu initiative.
Let's remind ourselves of how the medals were won. Congratulations to the top 3. It's now time for the Women's All-Around Competition Award Ceremony at the Jakarta 2025 World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Well done to all of the top 8 who will be honoured, as is customary, at the conclusion of an all-around competition at World Championship level. Abby Martin of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in the top 8 in the all-around competition at the World Championships. Might well be just the start of something very special. Sugihara Aiko of Japan, very different stage of her career. Mutual respect between these two. Sugihara is back in business, joined by her young teammate Kishi Rina, who finished 6th. She was just 1/10 above Sugihara. Another great comeback story, Asia D'Amato, 5th position. The injuries that she has endured, she's putting it all behind her. A wonderful effort from Kaylee Namor, a brilliant campaign, and one that so nearly ended in a place on the podium. The Algerian certainly can aspire to be in that top 3 in the future. But for now, here are your top 3. In 2025, it's Zhang Qingying. She was 4th in qualification. She moves up by 1 very important place to take a bronze medal. Congratulations to the 18-year-old. Once again, silver medalist in the all-around competition at the World Championships after her success in Kitakyushu 4 years ago. And she so nearly won the whole thing. From 9th in qualification, right there in 1st place until the very last performance. Incredible accomplishment. World champion for a 2nd time in all-around competition, Angelina Melnikova just wins it by only 1/10. Such a close final, such a great contest. There is the champion.
Please stand up for the music for the individual neutral athlete.
they are, the medalists in the women's all-around competition at the 2025 World Championships of Artistic Gymnastics. Entertaining and close final, and it's been a pleasure having your company for all of the action from the Indonesia arena here in Jakarta. That concludes the all-around competitions. We move tomorrow into apparatus finals day 1. It starts slightly earlier, so check your local listings and do join us if you can for the apparatus finals. Until then, it's goodbye, but not farewell.
Start at 2 tomorrow.